In the shadowy corridors of an old Italian convent, Sydney Sweeney's Immaculate blurs the lines between sacred vows and sinister secrets. As Sister Cecilia's story unfolds from innocent devotion to blood-streaked horror, we're thrust into a chilling liturgy of classic horror moves. But does this film ascend to heavenly heights or fall into formulaic depths? Join me as we dissect the elements that make Immaculate a peculiarly fascinating watch. Immaculate introduces viewers to a suspenseful narrative set in an Italian convent, a location shrouded in mystery and old-world charm. The film, starring Sydney Sweeney as Sister Cecilia, revolves around her unexpected and mysterious pregnancy despite her vowed chastity, adding a layer of supernatural intrigue. This central mystery unfolds within the confines of a convent that serves dual purposes, a sanctuary for young nuns and a hospice for the aging ones. The eerie setting and the plot's focus on the unexplained pregnancy are crafted to blend horror with deep-seated religious themes, creating a dramatic and unsettling atmosphere. Sydney Sweeney's portrayal of Sister Cecilia in Immaculate has been a highlight of the film, showcasing her versatility and depth as an actress. As Cecilia, Sweeney embodies a character who transitions from naive devotion to confronting horrific truths. Her performance is noted for its emotional depth and the ability to hold the viewer's attention, particularly in scenes depicting her character's terror and confusion over her inexplicable condition. Critics have lauded her ability to convey vulnerability and strength, making Cecilia a compelling figure in the story. This role adds to her growing repertoire of challenging and diverse roles, positioning her as a significant figure in contemporary cinema. Immaculate sets its horror ambiance from the very beginning, with a chilling prologue involving the murder of a young nun by figures in red masks, immediately alerting the audience to the dark undercurrents of the story. The film strategically uses this opening to set up the suspense and fear that permeates the rest of the narrative. The remote Italian convent, with its dual role as a training ground and a final resting place for nuns, adds to the unsettling feel. The setting is effectively utilized to create a sense of isolation and foreboding, pivotal for building the gothic horror atmosphere that is central to the film's impact. Immaculate is visually inspired by the vibrant and stylistically distinctive Italian giallo films of the 1960s and 1970s, known for their vivid color palettes and intricate, often disorienting camera work. The cinematography, led by Alicia Christian, adopts a similarly moody and atmospheric approach, using shadow and light to create a sense of impending dread that lingers over the scenes. The film's aesthetic is carefully crafted to enhance the horror elements, with stark contrast between the dark, oppressive interiors of the convent and the brief, jarring bursts of vivid color that mark moments of terror or revelation. This visual strategy not only pays homage to the giallo tradition, but also serves to heighten the psychological tension, making the viewer's experience both unsettling and immersive. While Immaculate begins with a strong premise, the plot development and pacing suffer as the narrative progresses. The film attempts to build suspense and complexity around the mysterious pregnancy of Sister Cecilia, but the execution often feels sluggish and occasionally predictable. Critics have noted that the screenplay, while rich with potential themes and conflicts, fails to maintain a consistent pace, meandering through some of its more critical plot points without the necessary tension or urgency. This pacing issue is particularly evident in the middle sections of the film, where the narrative seems to stall, relying too heavily on atmospheric elements at the expense of advancing the story. Such issues detract from the film's ability to fully engage its audience, leaving many of the more interesting ideas underexplored and diminishing the impact of its climactic revelations. Immaculate is deeply entrenched in religious symbolism and the critique of institutional control over women's bodies. The film uses its setting in a convent, a space traditionally associated with female chastity and obedience, to explore themes of autonomy and subjugation. Cecilia's unexplained pregnancy becomes a metaphor for the broader systemic control exerted over women's bodies within patriarchal religious structures. Furthermore, the use of religious icons and rituals in the film serves to underscore the hypocrisy and corruption that can pervade religious institutions. The portrayal of women in Immaculate is complex, reflecting both the strength and the vulnerability of its female characters, who navigate a male-dominated hierarchy that seeks to define their identity and fate. This thematic exploration is both a critique of and a tribute to the horror genre's capacity to address social issues through a lens of supernatural and visceral terror. Immaculate distinctively intertwines religious elements with horror, a combination reminiscent of classics like Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist, where the sanctity of religious life contrasts sharply with supernatural terror. The film's Italian setting and use of Catholic iconography draw comparisons to the atmospheric dread of Dario Argento's Giallo films. However, where Immaculate diverges is in its focus on the personal journey and tribulations of Sister Cecilia, similar to the psychological depth explored in Sydney Sweeney's previous work in Euphoria, where complex female leads are central. Director Michael Mohan's approach to blending personal torment with broader societal themes echoes his work on The Voyeurs, though Immaculate delves deeper into the horror genre's traditional elements, like isolation and paranoia, within a religious framework. This film thereby situates itself uniquely within both the modern horror landscape and the thematic interests of its creators, standing out for its atmospheric and narrative depth. Immaculate, while not without its flaws in pacing and plot development, presents a compelling fusion of horror and religious drama that makes it a noteworthy addition to the horror genre. Sydney Sweeney's performance as Sister Cecilia is the linchpin of the film, bringing a nuanced portrayal that anchors the film's more ambitious thematic explorations. The cinematography and visual homage to Italian Giallo add a layer of sophistication, enhancing the eerie and unsettling atmosphere that is crucial to the film's impact. For fans of horror that appreciate slow burn tension and thoughtful, if sometimes underdeveloped, thematic exploration, Immaculate offers a fresh take on familiar tropes. While it may not achieve the cult status of its predecessors, its bold stylistic choices and Sweeney's performance make it a worthwhile watch. Those interested in psychological and atmospheric horror with a strong lead should definitely consider adding Immaculate to their viewing list. Our cinematic expedition has come to an end, but the stories we share and the discussions we ignite are eternal. If you liked today's video, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and tap the bell to join us on future adventures. Your comments are the script to our dialogue, so please share your thoughts and movie recommendations below. Keep the movie magic alive until we reconvene under the silver screen's glow. Farewell, and remember, every movie has a story to tell. Yours is just beginning.